Hey everyone, welcome to the Oasis podcast. I'm your host, Miss AJ. Thanks for tuning in. An oasis is something that provides refuge, relief, or a pleasant contrast, and that is exactly what you will find tuning into the Oasis podcast. This is a space where I and special guests will be cultivating intentional and honest conversations about life's journey. Subscribe everywhere you listen to podcasts and watch us on YouTube now. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you again for joining us on today's episode of the Oasis podcast. I have Mr. Chad Scott with us again.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Thank you for joining us again. So our last episode has been very popular. People are still listening. People are still hitting me up like, "Oh, that was good. I took notes. This was really good." So of course I had to have you back again this week because we've been seeing social media always has so much content for those of us who create. So I wanted to talk to you about today's topic, which is red flags, right? But we'll get into that. For those who don't know you, who for whatever reason haven't listened to or watched the last episode, y'all go ahead and do that. Episode 53. Chad, please introduce yourself to everyone.
What's going on, y'all? Chad Scott here, life relationship coach, but I focus really on accountability and being an accountability partner, because I look at it from standpoint of whatever goals you want, whether it's relationship or love, it starts with you. So as soon as you own up to your part, transformation will happen. So that's why I'm here. And in the last episode, thank you again. We got to push it some more. I got to make some content for it and do it for the culture. But thank you again.
Yes, and yes. But I don't know how busy you're going to be, because people don't like that accountability word, because, it's always somebody else's fault, honey.
This is why I tell people all the time, even when we talk about later about coaching and my business, whatever, is I understand it's not for everybody. Mm-hmm. And I think that when you think about marketing or just demos, when you know your demo, you understand I ain't for everybody. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. Even relationships. Okay. You may not be, but as long as you're secure with yourself and understand the value that you bring into a table or whatever the quote unquote phase is, you got to be sure that I know it's not for everybody, but when it works for that person, it hits different. Yeah. So I don't take it personal, but I know it's not a popular trend.
It's not, but it's absolutely necessary. So we will jump in. We'll talk a little bit more later about what what you do, where people can find you. I'm sure they will probably want to be hitting you up like, hey, Chad, what about me? But recently, there's been all these memes about red flags. Now, I don't know where it started from, but all I know is I just be seeing so many memes. And I think you had posted one, or I don't know if I sent you one. I can't remember. But I was like, oh my gosh, we need to do an episode on this. And I don't know if you know where it started, but what are your thoughts? So we're going to jump into a little more detail, but what are your thoughts with it kind of blowing up on social media right now?
The funny part about it, I'm for the jokes, right? I like to laugh. I'm a comedian, right? Those red flag jokes was hilarious, right? I watched a few, and as a coach or whatever, you see those moments, but I got to do content for it, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not that guy in a sense. Like sometimes I understand it's something hot, but I like the people watch.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that read comments. Like I read posts and I read comments. This is how I engage with people. And people watching don't have to be outside, but it can also be just reading comments. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And when I read comments, I saw how everybody was so on point. They memorized these. Everybody, yeah, that too. That's the one, right? So the meme I posted was, I see everybody acknowledging these red flags. Like, yeah, clear. Yes, know these red flags when you hear it. Why you still entertain these people?
Facts. Those are all things.
And then people like, no, we don't want to talk about it now. I said, oh, you want to keep the jokes going? Cool. I double back next week.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, you did post that. That's what made me go, oh, let's talk about this. I actually saw one this morning that said, of course it was geared to women because people love talking to women. It said women be seeing all these red flags and entertaining these dudes and end up having a little red flag junior. And I said, ooh. Ooh.
That's we gotta break the cycle.
But you know what? I can't even sit here act all high and mighty because I've been there. I seen all the red flags, baby. They were on fire. Okay. And I was still like, well, maybe. Thank gosh, I am not there anymore. But ain't no time for all those red flags. But anyway, let's jump in. What the hell is a red flag? Because I know people are seeing them, they're probably thinking it's funny, but in all reality, like, what are red flags?
So red flags, there's a difference real quick, right? Between red flags and deal breakers, right? So you may have your own personal deal breakers. I don't want to date this kind of person. I need a person to have this, that. You know that? Yep. Your deal breakers are deal breakers. And that's different. It could be red flags too, but it's deal breakers. Red flags are things that you see that let you know that the relationship or what you're trying to get into, there's signs that let you know there's difficult ahead. There's road work ahead. There's the flags is like, hey, listen, pay attention. And this way you have to manage your expectations. But some of these red flags is alerting you that it's something deeper that you need to address. And if you ignore it or feel like you could try to power through it because you like that person or lust of that person or feel like I could, that show that popular came back in the season, which has got Joe, and he's obsessed with people.
That's so crazy.
I could fix you, right? There's people like that. And a lot of women I know Joes. Yeah. A lot of women move like Joes and a lot of guys. So it's like, no matter how much you like that person, there's these flags that you have to address just for clarity or peep it and be like, thanks, but no thanks. Yep. So that's red flag. There's those signs and you see, we can talk about different, how it show up, but these are things that you see, that you peep, you feel uncomfortable about, but you don't want to address it because you don't want to rock the boat. We talked about it last time. Damn that boat. We need to really figure out, are we compatible? Does this work? But I don't want to mess up, the honeymoon or the good feelings I'm feeling about you.
Yes. I love the fact that you distinguish between red flags and deal breakers, right? That those are very two different things. I think deal breakers are probably a little harder in the sense of like, oh, this is an absolute hell no for me. I think red flags are a little sometimes more difficult to determine, right? It's one of those things that's like oh, I don't like that. I can see this being a problem, but you're also like, I'm not sure. Whereas a deal breaker is like, oh no, this is no, this is a no for me. And I think that's what makes it hard for people to decide to entertain a red flag or just to completely be like, no, I'm not with it.
Yeah, like a car. You're driving a car, check engine light. You're like, that's something to be alert. You may not know what it is, but it should be addressed soon. Right. The car letting you know something is up. Right. If you don't address it, it could be something severe. Or something like, but it's
some people are gonna be like, but the car's still moving. So.
Yeah, it's still working.
I'm gonna keep going.
Maybe that's a red flag. Maybe it's a glitch. No, it's not a glitch.
No, actually, that's a great analogy. That's the great one. So, again, you are a relationship and life coach, right? Accountability coach. So, for those who may not know what that is and what you do, talk about what it is you do and also talk about how you help people identify red flags.
All right. So coaching and therapy, sometimes people put it together. They're two different things, right? Therapy is more about the unpacking and the tools to heal from the past and try to find ways to get you a better version of yourself. And sometimes, hopefully, to move forward. Yep. Right? Coaching is more about, we hear you about the past and the healing, and that's something that we don't do. Our thing is very goal-oriented. We're trying to hit your goals. So that's why a business coach to help you with your business. Right. Like there's different coaches or mentoring or however you look at it to focus on that. My job as accountability partner, coach, is focus on what is your goal. If your goal is about life, what you trying to get accomplished, I'm that to help you gear towards the game plan. Right? If it's about love relationships, my goal is to try to figure out what do you want? Because a lot of times people say they want to get married, but they want the ring. They don't want the marriage. A lot of times people don't really know what they want, actually. Yeah. They just know they don't like something, right? So my job is try to identify the weaknesses and where you want and try to bridge that gap for what you want in life and what's stopping you. And then try to help you navigate. Because I don't give no advice. Like you said, relationship coaching is not me dictating, you should do this, and this gave you this. Results may vary, but doing the work helps you uncover some blind spots you may have had. And my thing is give you tools in the toolbox and make it happen. But that's why I love the Mike Tyson line, because everybody got a plan to get punched in the face. So you may have the tools, you may see, like we talked about before, like it happens to the best of us. Like listen, I know coaches that they talk this talk, but they got caught.
Yeah.
And also that's dangerous because those coaches or therapists, whatever, feel like they could mastermind that. No. So I think that's the difference what I do with it. It's identifying what is your goal and help you try to bridge that gap and hold you accountable. It's not the sexiest word we talked about before, but that's what stopped a lot of people from getting whatever goals they want to get.
That's true. I love life coaching. I love the idea. I love the concept of it. And I love how you just broke it down and explained it. It's not therapy. I'm helping you get to a goal. I'm not giving you advice. I'm not telling you what to do, right? I'm helping you look at the big picture, look at the moving parts and how you can connect them to get to where you're trying to get, essentially, right? So in your work, right? Someone comes to you and they're like, hey, I want this type of relationship. These are the people that I'm dating. Here's what I'm seeing. How do you help them identify or get them to identify that, hey, sis, or hey, bro, these are red flags?
So I said before, the first thing I look at is where the person's at mentally, right? And see where they at with the relationship issue, right? And then once they like their confidence where they need to be at, they're like, there's something's going on with this. I just want more clarity, right? And when we come to red flags is now, what is the issue, right? So it's me listening to what the issue is, right? So if the red flag could be lack of communication. You try to talk to them and they kind of distant. They don't want to talk about certain things. And you're like, he's so quiet and he don't want to express his feelings. How do I break it? Or how do I? That's a sign that that needs to be addressed. Why they don't want to communicate. Why they don't want to talk about things. It's different when it's not nagging, quote unquote, but there's conversations that should be had.
Yeah.
So that's a red flag. Why they don't want to talk about this? Why they don't want to talk about the future relationship? Why they don't want to talk about whatever the goals are in that sense, right?
Right.
Then I'm talking about red flags could be in the sense of inconsistency, right? That's a big red flag. That's why I always talk about consistency, great in action, great in words. You get caught up in the words, right? Now, action is cool. Like we talked about before. Action, they show up on Saturday. They had a great time. You ain't hear from them till next Thursday. You know, what happened? Then Sunday, great again. So that inconsistency is the sign to figure out what's going on, right? And that could be they date multiple people. It could be what you looking for and what they looking for is not aligned. But he is feeding you enough for your attention. Or the woman do it too, right?
Breadcrumbing, so, as they like to call it.
And also lack of trust, right?
Yeah.
You don't trust this person. That's a red flag. What about that character that even though you like this person, something inside you
gut is like
feel unsure. And even with that, it could be, you know how you talk about like this person make me nervous, or you know, that kind of, oh my God, something about him. That if that person give you anxiety, it may be a flag. You just mean like, it's butterflies. It is a difference.
I forgot who said it. They said on topic, but completely off topic too. But they said that what you should strive for in looking for love or a partner is not the person that gives you butterflies, that makes you, you know, gives you the feeling in your gut. It's really the person that makes you feel calm. It makes you feel peace. And I didn't get that because we're always told to be like, oh, it's the butterflies, it's the this, and your heart racing, this is what you think you're supposed to want. But the reality situation is like sometimes that's your body telling you, you know, like that. Sometimes that's like maybe this ain't it. Because honestly, for the long term, when you get older, you kind of mature and you realize, you kind of understand that saying a little bit more. It's like, you want someone that does make you feel peace, right? That means if you have that peace, it doesn't mean that you don't have attraction, you don't have chemistry. It just means that you have a sense of calm with that person, knowing that person is there. And that's what you need to get through the troubles, is that sense of peace and calm.
Yeah, because like you said, I think what happens when people, when they hear that quote, they think about it as spark, right? They might like somebody like, I don't feel that spark.
Yep.
The spark is two different things for being interested. I could be in that, you can have that spark with someone, and that's great. We have the spark. That anxiety and spark, two different things. So yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like when it comes to relationships like that, is like you have to look at it from, you have to take a step back and really figure out what it is. So That's what happens with it. You got to really take a step back. And I think a lot of people don't take a step back because they're in it.
So what I'm hearing you saying, and from I guess my own gathering, for me, in order for you to even be able to identify red flags, you have to know what the hell you're looking for, right? Meaning, what do you actually want, right? You won't be able to identify red flags if you don't know what that is, right? Yeah. And I've said in previous episodes, and even when I talk to my girlfriends, my guy friends, I'm like, for me in my journey, I was always so focused on, oh, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. But it wasn't until I identified what I didn't want did all of it make sense, right? It's easy to be like, oh yeah, I want a man that's like this, and he gotta be like that, and like that, like that. But if you don't know what you don't want, you're going to take whatever. If they have all these little things, you're gonna take everything else that comes with it. No, right? So you won't know or be able to identify those red flags until you fully know what you want and what you don't want. And that's how you'll know what's the difference between a red flag, a pink flag, a yellow flag. As you said last time, a whole carnival could be going on. You don't know what's going on.
And that's why it goes back to that. Like if you're going to, you see these flags, identify these flags, or you see this character is not moving the way it moves, and you wondering why, you see these flags, or you dealing with these clowns, and then you wonder why you're in the circus, right? Mm-hmm. This is when the fun part comes in, accountability. A friend on social media, she fights me on accountability. She hates it because she feels like men should be more transparent and honest with their intent, right? Okay. I understand the ideal world, right? But the accountability comes in that you see the red flag, you see that this person is not giving you what you want, right? But you're saying they should just almost like be the bad guy or tell you, shoot, or very cold, like, I just want you for this.
Yeah.
And it's the access you get from. So I know in an ideal where he should be honest on his intent, but you have to take accountability that if it's not feeding your soul, if you're not feeling good about it, you have to cut the person off. Mm-hmm. So we can't play victim blaming all the time.
Yes.
It happens to the best of us. Yes, someone could be fooled, people out of Jesus. But at the end of the day, you have to take accountability. Like, I'm being a dead horse here. I want this person. They don't want me the same way I want them. Mm-hmm. I have to remove myself from that situation. I gotta make, I look at, as a part of business. I have to make an executive decision. What's best for me is to let go. But I understand how I saw her post that, and I'm like, I don't want to fight today. I just, bro. I was like, I get on the phone with her, maybe talk about it. But I understand that that's the mindset of men should be more honest about their feelings and intent. Yes, but they already are.
People should be, and you could speak for men. I'm gonna speak for women. A lot of women be playing themselves, and when I say that, I mean they know what they want, they know what they're looking for, but they refuse to tell the person that they're dating. And it's like, but how that makes sense, sis? Like, how is he gonna know if you don't tell him? And I understand the idea of being afraid. Oh, the person might run away, but then that means he wasn't for you. Like, I don't know. There's so much fear, I think, that comes with dating, and it creates these dynamic situationships, relationships, if they get there, of just two people just not knowing what the hell they're doing outside of, oh, I'm attracted to you, but I don't know what you really want. You don't know what I really want, because everyone's so afraid to say what they really want. Then what are we doing here? We're just wasting our time. You're expecting people to read your mind. You're expecting people to just know what to do, and then get upset when they don't do it for you. Start building resentment, and they just create this atmosphere and this environment that's unnecessary for both of y'all. When you can easily just be like, hey, I'm not looking for a relationship, but you cool though. You with it? Yeah. Or no. Thanks. And then move accordingly. I don't understand, but I feel like a lot of women are so afraid to say that. Like, they're so afraid to say what they want. And it's like, who's for you is going to be for you. And I know that maybe it might be those, the statistics and what's going on. Oh, there's more women than men. And there's this and this is so hard and it's so this. And it's like, I understand all that. But the fact of the matter is, do you want to be in a relationship or do you want to be happy, right? Do you want to be in a relationship or you just want a man, right? Do you want a healthy relationship or you just want a relationship, right? It's just like, you have to kind of think about what it is that you're actually chasing, what it is that's really honestly and truly important for you. Because if you don't do that, then how are you going to take the proper steps? And of course, and then you're going to keep missing, quote unquote, these red flags. You're going to keep being like, it's a red flag, but it's okay. It's okay. Because you don't know what the hell you're doing. One, you don't know what you want. And then two, you're not expressing what you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Without a doubt. Like, that makes perfect sense. And I think that what happens the reason why behind that, like you said, and that's why I always focus about confidence and self-worth. Mm-hmm. That's another fun buzzword that people hate. Because you really have to understand and love yourself and hold value, right? So, like I said, once again, about business, right? If I know I'm worthy of love, I know I'm worthy, and know who am I, then just because it didn't work out, don't take away from me being still dope. Mm-hmm. Still worthy of love. Yep. But a lot of times when people get attached, sometimes men and women, but mostly women do it, is they scared of the unknown. They don't want to start over. They feel like, can I find someone that check these boxes? But no matter all the boxes a person check, the main box that need to be checked, that they need to be into you. They got reciprocal. Mm-hmm. So it could work. You know what I'm saying? We talked last time, but love isn't enough. But even lust, like whatever it is, like all these boxes got to be checked. It's cool. But the biggest box is they got to be into what you're into. Yeah. And even though the person you need to have the conversation, you got to advocate for yourself. Most men too. Men got to advocate for themselves. Because we got so trained where happy wife, happy life, just be a girl, roll with her, enjoy yourself. Just be happy to be here. No, you may have needs and wants that need to be addressed as well. Yeah. But people so scared to rock that boat, they're like, it may not work for us. Then, y'all, that's not your person. I don't believe in soulmates and twin flames. That's another day if we want to go into. But I understand that multiple people we can have successful relationships with and really love each other. But sometimes we get caught up on this is my twin flame, this is my soulmate. This has to work. Mm-hmm. Where did God tell you this? Right. Who told you that's it? You just feel it in your bone? No. You could find love again. Think about the time you thought you could never get over that person. And look at you, over that person. But you're so caught up in that moment. And that's why I understand that sometimes people are not ready and they want to touch the stove to see if it's hot some more. Mm-hmm. Hopefully you have enough button before more trauma or more things get complicated. You may have a kid. Like before they get more complicated, you need to address some of these red flags. If you don't address these flags, and just to get clarity, maybe it's nothing. You know that? Maybe it's nothing, right? Exactly. But this is something that stopped. Like, hold on. I got a question. With this and this and that, how you, like for me, like if you talk to anybody, it's like, hey, you see the red flag could be, like we said earlier, lack of communication, right? Hey, I'm trying to see how do I call you or text you, like what you prefer? You prefer text or phone calls? Because I'm trying to get in contact with you, how you scheduled, you know, they're like, let's have a conversation. They're like, just hit me when you hit me. I hit you. All right, they show you something. Yeah. For example, there's one girl, she's telling me that she texting this guy. When they talk, they text, whatever. And she was telling me how they have good rapport. Like when he's active, right?
He's on. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when he's gone, right? To a point where she felt like she had to kind of like send him pictures or try to like send him sexy pictures to get some kind of reaction out of him. Okay. And I'm like, what do you want out of this? No, I just want to, I really like him and I just want to, try to get his attention. That's how you want to get his attention? He's showing you what it is. So you think sending him pictures, naked pictures are going to get the job done? You're going to get attention from him, yes, but not the attention you want. So I'm confused. If this is a booty call thing, you trying to send him a picture like, I'm ready. That's different. But if you're showing him because he's ignoring you, and you have to show pictures or try to buy him something or try to date him and like, try to ask buying questions, then that's showing you already you're not wanting the same thing. So you don't have to verbalize it. Look at that man action and look at the consistency. That person is showing you. Mm-hmm. And just like for a man, if she only hit you up to go out to eat and don't care about your day or invest in you or I need a favor or, hey, baby, can I get $20? Hey, that's when she only could call you sugar honey pie. It's for money or some service that you could provide. Right. No matter how much you like it, no matter how bad. Know your worth, King. Know your worth. Know your worth, King. Because God said, you want to do these things now, I have to give, even though majority of relationship talk is geared towards women and women listens, right? And guys that don't listen feel like they're winning, but the guys that do watch these content, because I'm one of the guys that enjoy talking about relationships, I need to give them examples even for men. Like, hey, listen, women, men, inconsistent. God, she only hit you when she needs something. She's not into you. She's just into what you can provide for her. You have to make an executive decision like, oh, you don't love me for me. Oh, okay. Thanks for no thanks. You know what I'm saying? Have a blast, but I'm not here no more. You're not pouring into me. I only doing pouring into you. I'm good. Yeah, so yeah, it just, once again, it all go back to accountability. Right.
And it's absolutely true. I have male friends that same thing. They put so much energy to these girls. I'm like, bro, she don't like you. Don't do that. And then it's like they can't see it or whatever, or they don't want to see it or whatever the reason is. But so here's the question I'm going to ask you is, when do we identify these red flags? Do we identify them very early on when you first see them, or should you wait until you secure that relationship?
As early as possible is when you try to address these red flags. But I'll say this, right? Really being in tune with yourself, right? So make sure it's not in your head. Really try to see the pattern, basically, right? So maybe not the first strike, you like, hey, you know what I'm saying? But see, this is something. Like maybe it's just a, bad day. Right. Like somebody had a bad day at work, right?
Right.
But if you start hearing, and this is why I always talk about really listen. I think that men and women do not really listen in the early stages of relationship. Because we talking nonstop, but we really not listening. We in the mindset, I could patch that. I could fix that. I could do this. I could do that. No, really listen when that person is saying to you. So they're saying to you they're not ready for a relationship. Listen. Don't look at it like, because they passed X, the trauma, I'm going to overlove them. I'm going to show them the way.
Yep.
No, we have to address it. This is when we address it, not internalize, address it. Why do you feel that way? And listen, don't attack. Really listen and engage. And they're going to be free to talk in that moment. And be like, all right. And then you can see in your mind, this is for me, or this is not for me. So I think that as early as possible is where you should address these red flags, because you don't want to wait too long. And then we add sex into the mix, that cloud judgment. Like the longer you wait, the harder it is, because now you're cloudy, now you're blindsided, now you get your emotions involved. And this is why even when you date this person, it's a routine that got established. So now the routine established, you're like, I don't really want to rock the boat because I like this good morning queen. Oh, grand rising. You know that? Whatever. I get it off.
My friend, you know that I digress. But nah, for real. No. But you are hitting some points here, because I think that for a lot of people, it's hard to, like what you said, address the red flags, especially if you waiting. I think it's important to establish a pattern, because, that first time, maybe you'd be like, all right, maybe it was like what you said, a bad day.
Yeah, maybe a yellow flag.
Yeah, right. It's a yellow, because I'm like, I don't know if I like that, but let's see if you keep doing it. You need to establish a pattern, like to see, okay, no, this is definitely something, maybe it's a character trait. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's a personality trait. Let me keep seeing. And not keep, when I say keep, meaning I think by the third time, the second and third time, depending on how intense I think the flag is, then you should say something, right? Then it's to be like, okay, let's have a conversation. But I think a lot of people, again, like what you said, they get into the gist of, oh, well, we have a flow and I really like him or her, and I don't want to rock the boat, like what you said. But the reality situation is, the more you keep letting this person do this thing, you're essentially co-signing the behavior. You're essentially co-signing the thing. And the longer you wait, the person's when you finally do say something, or you blow up, because a lot of people wait till they just mad, you know what I'm saying? And then they're gonna be like, why you ain't never said nothing? Exactly. Why didn't you say something? And you got to take the L, again, accountability word. You got to take the L then, because you should have said it before. But I think people do wait. They don't wait in the dating period. They wait until you're in a relationship, right? They wait until it's already 6-8 months to a year in, and that's when they're like, oh, I don't think I like, I don't think I like. And it's like, you have less to lose in the beginning. Why not address these things in the beginning? Because then you can set the stage for what's going to come next. But what do I know? You know what I'm saying?
No, but it's just, you're right, because in those moments is they feel like, and that's what happens with people in general. Eventually, when we have the relationships, those next layer of tier, like, you know what I'm saying, we're dating, that relationship, now you might get married, these flags going to get fixed. But if you don't address these things, these red flags is going to show up 10 times more in the different levels of relationships you already have. So in the dating stage, if these are red flags in the dating stage, the commitment now is stronger.
Yes.
Then if the commitment starts now, marriage is amplified.
Yep.
So we have to address these things and work with it as it goes along to see about, you said, compatibility, chemistry, alignment. We have to see, yes, I gotta know your body like you gotta know my body. Even when we talk about sex, we have to learn each other, yes, but we have to address our needs and wants.
Yeah.
But we don't because we don't rock the boat or feel like over time, in relationships, my girl should know me already. My man should know me. People evolve every day. People
change every day. Yeah. Yeah.
And to me, we're not mind readers.
Yeah.
And it's like, you should know how I move, so you should know how to react. Come on, use your words.
Yeah. Sometimes I think we don't even realize that that person may not even be aware of what they're doing. Like, they are so unaware. So I thought it was a stupid thing, but somebody had to bring it to my attention. Now it made me aware moving forward. In the dynamic, so my family is from Haiti, right? So you know how Caribbean folk, we have a lot of mannerisms. We talk like we arguing, like we that's just how we are, right? And of course you have your, your cultural things, and then you have your family things that you do. Was dating someone, and while we were having discussions, I would suck my teeth. Right? I'm not even thinking about it. I swear I didn't even know I was doing it. You know what I mean? And I'm very animated too when I'm talking, because that's how my family is. Like, that's how we are. So we arguing, and I'm like, yo, it'd be like little things, not arguing, it'd be little things we're talking about, and he'll get so mad. You know what I mean? It'll be just so, and I'm like, yo, no, seriously, like what is the problem? Like, why you go 0 to 100 like this? Like, this doesn't make sense to me. Oh, you mad, disrespectful? I'm like, what did I do that was disrespectful? Because I can be disrespectful. But I'm like, what did I do? Oh, you keep sucking your teeth. I'm like, what? I suck my teeth? Yeah, you do that a lot. You've been doing that. It's so disrespectful. And I'm like, oh. Because he was American, and that disrespectful to him. And I really had to sit back and go, oh, shit. I didn't even know I was doing that. You know what I mean? And it took him to say, but he waited. At this point, we were already like maybe a year and a half, 2 years in. Yeah. Why did you wait this long? I didn't know.
Yeah. As you said, that's why it's good to address these things. Like, I think for me, I always give it some time, you said, and then I address it. Like, hey, and this something about that unsettling, the way you react here make me feel away, right? When you suck your teeth, when you say shh, when you say, it's things that it may not be a big deal, could just be the way you talk, and that's great. But for me, it don't feel right. It triggers me or put me in a position of defense, or now that's when I stonewall and just shut down now. Suck your teeth, I don't want to talk about it right now. And you thinking it was about the argument we having or the discussion we having? No. Once you suck your teeth, it's my sign to shut down.
Yep.
So I had to address that, like, hey, when you suck your teeth, when you say shh, when you do this, or even when you touch me or hit my thigh, like whatever it is, because women do be handsy sometimes. When you do that, it don't feel right to me, and we got to find another way to address it. And then if they say, okay, wow, I never, like you said, the epiphany, like, yeah, you see mad shows when somebody points something out, the character does, and it's like a glass break, like, oh wow. Yes, give them time to process it. It's been a habit, so give them time to work out the kinks.
Right.
They're gonna do it, and then hopefully they correct themselves. Oh yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. It took some time. I ain't gonna hold you. It took some time. But I know now. Now I'm like, okay, my bad. Damn, my fault. I didn't mean to do that. You know what I'm saying?
But even now, mid sucked. Yeah. Sorry about that.
So, in your experience in working with, because I know you say you work with individuals and you work with couples, how do you see them, either the individual or couples, handle red flags? So you're not giving no advice. You're just listening. How do you see them maneuver red flags?
So when I'm dealing with couples, I like to see them argue or pretend like, what was the last time you had a fight? What was the fight about? And how the conversation go? right? And therefore you can see the different kind of ways they did it. Did they stonewall? Did they insult each other? Like, how did they interact with that, right? Then it's for me to point out, oh, you stonewall. That's when you shut down. That's when you're not. This is when you're trying to insult them, trying to take a low blow. Like, so it's one thing where, for example, one of the guys was going through therapy, right? And trying to, shout out to him, going to therapy, black man, right? What happened was she used that against him. She weaponized that. And when they had an argument, she said, see, that's why you're in therapy. You got to get your anger in it. Come on. You know what I'm saying? That's not, you know what I'm saying? Those parts is when you see the red flags and these things that need to address in a relationship where that's not, I didn't say you mad, you want to, you want to get them while you get them, you want to hit them in the jugular, but what is that going to do for us repairing it? So so those moments when they argue or just having a conversation about the day-to-day operation of what the issue is, this is when accountability on both parts, but also understand where you see how this not right. I say, but he does. I hear you, but is this helping? Where's the repair to repair this? What are you doing? That's not the way to do it. So I think that's what happened with couples, where it's more about letting them be in the element, talk about their story of what happened, and then within the happening, dissecting the parts where they can improve on tools. Instead of saying, you always do this, when you do this, it makes me feel this way. So
do you help them pull out the red flag, or in those moments when you're helping them unpack, they're able to be like, you know what, that is a red flag for me? Yeah, and
so once again, it's me. What I do against what my bandwidth or my talent is I'm a great listener. So I let you talk your story, and we have your story, and then I'm just recapping. So you're saying this, right? Do you see how that may be a way where someone may feel a way, like you're sucking your teeth? Do you understand how, even though that's your culture and that's how you get down, how someone enter it, how that makes somebody feel of sucking teeth? Like as a kid, you see a kid doing that to another kid, how you feel? Like if you see how you feel, like you feel like you this person trying to make me like a child, like I'm a kid, like I'm an adult. So can you see how? And some people are like, yeah, I can see how that could be a thing. Or I don't see it. That's just the way I am. Then that's a different, that's a more of a personal development.
Right.
And you may find someone that's not an issue for them.
Right.
But for this relationship here that we're currently talking about, it's an issue.
Okay.
Maybe if you date somebody else, it may not be an issue, but we talking about this current situation. And that's when the unpacking in the conversation, the coaching come in, where you see how this could be flipped. So instead of saying that, what could you say? Or what kind of action to show that you upset, but you listening and not, because when you suck your teeth, he shuts down. So so there's those moments where when they start going to the actual ever flow of the relationships is when as I recap, I'm asking them about looking at both ways.
Is that the same process you've had with an individual?
Yes, but it's a little bit more, so a couples is more of a discussion with them. And I'm kind of like, as I get the information, but with singles is very more in depth in the recap. I'm pushing back more. Okay. I do more with singles because I know it's a personal development thing.
Gotcha.
It could be deeper rooted. Couples, this relationship is when we're unpacking, but individually, it's going to have to be more digging, so to speak.
Got you. So, all right, now we have identified the red flags. We talked about when we're going to address them, when we should or rather address them, because we all ain't going to address them when we're supposed to. And kind of maneuvering how to uncover the red flags within a dynamic. Now let's talk about the aftermath, right? Because that's what people are mainly afraid of. It's the aftermath of addressing the red flag, pointing out the red flag. What have you seen, or have you seen that kind of play out in front of you? And if so, how that usually plays out, or in your own, I guess, opinion, how, or if, observing others, may not necessarily be in your professional life, but how have you seen that pan out?
So when it comes to aftermath, it may be over. And you have to understand that as we do this work, it may not be a happy ending. And that's why people are scared of. They're scared of the honest truth. They understand the relationship been dead for years. Like there's one time where a woman was in a relationship with this man for 4.5 years, and it was already over in 2. But she stayed because she wanted to recap that feeling. It's almost like people always say,
I've been there.
Yeah, like people always say, even when smoking, right? The first high, right? They try and catch that first high that they never got before because the first high, right? So what happened in relationships is that feeling they felt, they that love when they took you on dates and they really caught you, you see that person have that good quality. It just gotta get back to that. We gotta get back to that. He made a change. The relationship made a change, and you have to be conscious of that. But what happens is that when those situations happen, you try and relive these situations, but it's over. The relationship been dead. But you're just going through the motions because you trying to recap the old feeling.
Yeah. But
it's not there anymore. So I'm saying when it comes to that is understanding when you're going through the work, hopefully, ideally, y'all can work it out. But it could be one of the things where the relationship is dead and it's at a point of no return. Like it's so much damage, you waited too long to address these things that it made the other person so bitter that even though they said verbally, I forgive you, they didn't forgive you.
That part.
It's still holding the resentment.
That part. Yeah.
That's why you gotta break up with people or understand that you might end this before resentment sets in. Because now you may not even be happy here, but you just miserably love company. So I ain't happy, you ain't happy.
Yep.
So that's the thing. The fear of the aftermath is this relationship may be over. And if it is over, what did that mean? The relationship completed. So the relationship completed, therefore the access to you may have to change, the dynamics, the new boundaries have to be in place. You have to stand by those boundaries. And so the little one-offs or the cloudy gray area when you still have sex, but you don't have sex, and I think I have to be like, we can't do this no more. This end. This is goodbye sex. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to really have almost sometimes go cold turkey. And I don't mind going dating, going back to your exes, but there should be some time allotted.
Yeah, agreed.
Go ahead. I'm
not a fan of going back. However, it doesn't mean that I think that it can never ever work for me. I'm good on that. But yeah, I agree. There definitely should be a healing time. Not a week, not 2 weeks, a few months to a year or years, I think, because give yourself time to let go of some of that pain that you've experienced, because jumping back in is just going to press play where you had stopped the tape, essentially. And people don't understand that.
Even the grief, you have the grief. You have to cry. It's okay. You in a relationship, but you can't grieve the person that hurt you to heal you.
Exactly.
So I'm hurting because of the relationship, but we still have the sex, we still interacting because that Band-Aid, but you're not healing. And like you said, it resets the clock over again of the healing. You're like, I feel good. You know what? Fine. 2 weeks later, I'm ready to just be friends with you or just make it a sex thing. And then you like, once you have sex with them, like, oh, put the clock back on.
Yep. It gets right back on. So I'm a fan of story time. Do you have any stories?
Regarding red flags, I think that's the biggest story for me. I'm trying to think. Like I said, we talked about a relationship with 4.5 years, and she stayed in a relationship was dead, right? And then the conversation was, she come to me and tell me, Chad, how can I fix this? How can I get back to the glory time, the good times? And I explained to her that no matter how dope you are, don't matter what you feel like you bring to the table, don't matter all these things, you can't be in a relationship by yourself. And you can't drag anybody to greatness. So what you have to do is you have to have the conversation like, hey, listen, I don't know where we messed up at, where it's going on, but this got to get addressed. The way we doing, it's not helping. It's not going anywhere. And we really got to have an understanding about understand a new way we work together and see if that's possible, right? If the person like, we're good, or not really being, that's also a red flag when you're trying to talk to somebody about an issue and they not really engage in it and kind of be dismissive of it. Like, don't worry about it. Be good. See, you overthinking it. No. You have to make sure you feel comfortable and confident. And we talked about earlier, like if you feel like uncertain about the relationship, that's not how it's supposed to feel. You feel secure and feel like a safe space. But if y'all can't address my concerns or you're very passive aggressive with it, then that's a red flag. So I think that what happens with her, I told her like this, the relationship been dead for 2 years. Now we could try the CPR, try to revive it, but now it has to be new guidelines, new understanding. I'm gonna like reintroduce yourself to you. Like that's why even when I talk about the coaching relationship, I always about business, even though it's not the most sexiest thing, but I have to give it very logical thinking so somebody could get it. Where once you relationship or in personal development, rebranding.
Mm-hmm.
Once you rebrand, after you take the inventory, some people will get promoted, demoted, or fired. And in those moments is when you have to have the concept with that relationship. If the relationship is over, that we have to cut our losses. Can we really make it work? And if we do, what is the new version? What's the new vision of this marriage or this relationship? But if that person don't want to do that work and kind of like just phone it in, you have to make the exact decision to be like, got it. This is completed. Even though you don't want to say it, because some people don't want to be the bad guy.
Yeah. They
say in relationship like, I don't want to be the bad guy. You don't want to be that.
Yeah,
you do it. You break up.
Yep.
If you want me to be here, just say it. If you don't want to be here, just say it. No. You can say it.
Yep.
You can say, you know what?
I'm good.
I understand. We're just not going to be on the same page right now. I still love you.
Yeah.
But this is not going to work. But that's why it's very important. And no matter how much you love somebody, you got to love yourself more. And this is why I talk about self-esteem and come from a place of lack. If you come from a place of lack, you're trying to hold on to that validation or that look that you have a relationship. And you have to understand that this is not working. This is not healthy. I have to remove myself from the situation. And that's what I'm saying. So that's one of the story time when it comes to people seeing flags and trying to be like, yeah, I see those. And can I get back to glory days? That's not how that works.
So was this the same relationship you were talking about last episode where you got your 21 rings and then but one kind of,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got you. Yeah. Got you. Okay, because I'm like, okay, I want to know about that one.
Well, but that one is more. It's more about with her. Like I tell people all the time. And I think I'm gonna talk about more as we get into this holiday season. Seasonal depression is real. Mm-hmm. So and we are in cuffing season.
Yeah.
So some people don't really understand is their own body getting caught up in the cuffing season, right? Seasonal depression is real during this fourth quarter, especially in the East.
Grab anybody because you want to
holiday season, you want to feel good, right?
Isn't there, Drew?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think that what happens with those moments is that we have to be honest and address those things. Like cuffing season is real. I understand people hate it, and I get it. That's why I did a masterclass on it. But beyond that is about relationships and how to flush. But what her was, I always say, anybody get a ring like getting a record deal, right? You want to be in a relationship that you actually feel like there's growth there. You're actually happy here, right? And what happens a lot of times is, do you want the ring or you want the marriage? And I think for her she wanted the ring and she wanted to feel like he had enough money that she'd be okay. And once again, like almost like a doctor, if you don't tell me all the information, I can just give you what, you know what I'm saying? But you tell me then once she got the ring, thank you, Chad. And then she started laying other parts. And when she started laying other parts, I said, yo, don't marry.
Yeah, this ain't it.
And one of the reasons about him was he was very insecure, right? So he was using her to kind of make him feel good and lure other women to him.
Oh.
Because some women do like the concept of the good man.
That's a fact. They didn't want that man. They didn't want that man until he got a woman. Oh, there must be something about him.
Let me double check that. Okay. Because it happens to women and men. Like when you're single, you might get attention.
Yeah.
But once you bring that boyfriend roll out in and that vibe.
Like there's a glow, something. There's blood in the water. Like it's like, what?
And then sometimes people want to see, can it break you? And guys don't understand that. There's women that they will see you in a relationship and like, let me see. Because most men ain't going to cheat anyway.
Yeah, let's see how. Yeah.
They want to test you out, right? He liked it because he was insecure with himself. So I'm like, listen. Once I got the information, I'm like, don't marry that man. Should not, Chad. The ring that we all made it. I said, listen, do not marry this man. He's not ready. So yes, you got to understand when it comes to marriage, you got to make sure that he's ready to be a husband.
Yeah.
He's not ready to be a husband. But you're going to force it because you got a ring. You post it on the gram. You want to, you know what I'm saying? It's an action. Once the ring, it's showtime. I'm like, nah, set it off. She ain't listening to me, and it's okay. Like I said, when it comes to relationship coaching, I tell you, I don't even want to be in this world, right? And as far as this coaching relationship world, because I understand feelings. Yeah. And it can vary at any time, and it's not like A, B equals, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not as cut and dry. But I also said, I don't lose sleep I understand the bandwidth. I understand people want to touch the stove to see if it's hot.
People got to do what they got to do.
I don't. And some people, and some coaches and just people in general, empaths, right? They feel it, and I don't feel it. I get love, I love it, but I don't take it home with me. So with me is that I said, listen, wish you the best of luck. I hope I'm wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I could be wrong. I look at patterns and consistency. This is what make me determine what can navigate to be the best fit. But you know your life more than anybody else.
Right.
I wish you the best of luck.
It's true.
She married him. It only lasts a year. She got divorced in a year.
Nah, I really wished in a lot of relationships that I had friends and stuff, but I don't think we were young too, was trying to figure shit out. But I really did wish I had someone outside looking in, being like, girl, go left, go right, No, legit, I sit back and be like, oh, why the fuck you ain't say something to me? I'm dead ass. Like, I say that to a few of my friends too. I'll be like, yo, why you ain't say something? Well, and they'll try to kind of say stuff to me, like, no, I'm not one of those people. Say it.
Right, see, and this is why even me getting into the space of coaching or just in general, when it comes to business coaching, life coaching, whatever, is that I don't like giving unsolicited advice. Personally, I don't. I struggle with it because I be seeing things where I want to DM somebody or say something to somebody, but I don't want to give unsolicited advice. Because they're like, who asked you? I didn't ask you that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but like you said, if I have a rapport with that person, I may throw some hints in it. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. All right.
I'm not that person.
How you feel about that?
Thank God. I'm not that person. Like, if somebody I know and trust and I love and they love me, say something to me. Like, of course, everybody has their initial reactions, but I'm a person that I'm going to take what you said. I'm actually going to sit with it. You feel me? Okay. I'm going to sit with it. So even in the moment, I'd probably be like, I don't know if I agree with you, but being who you are to me, I'm like, and I'll think about it. And eventually, if I keep thinking about it, like, I'm not saying I'm going to run with it, but it's going to be here. You feel me? And then I'm going to start doing what I need to do with that information. And I'm like, sometimes I wish I had just that one person just say, hey, girl, nah, fuck this. I would have, because I probably had the thought in my head and I needed somebody to be like, fuck this. And it didn't come, So,
yeah, they're like, hey, you're not crazy. There's something here.
Because I was bugging.
But I get it, though. I struggle with that unsolicited advice. I struggle with that, too. Like, if somebody comes to me for advice, I give it. But to me, just hit somebody up like, hey, or we have a conversation, it comes up, I'm normally quiet. I'm like, no, I feel you. I think that I would say this. There's a conversation you need to have. You need to have the conversation. I'll say that. But as far as like, yo, run. It's hard because, once again, we talked about before, people get dickmatized and pillow talking, and I can't compete with that. And now I'm the bad guy, or they will use me to be the narrator. Right? They're like, yeah, because when Chad said, they're like, who the F Chad hit thoughts, right? And now there's a tension between me and him because you're using me to shoot at him.
It's really right.
Yeah, so
I've been that person.
Even businesses, I'll be seeing businesses, I'm like, I want to give them suggestion, but I ain't gonna know how they're gonna feel about this. They're like, who are you to talk? I'm like, so I usually try to, you know what I'm saying? That's why I say sometimes, I know sometimes somebody you wish like, hey, run. And that's could be a red flag too. When your family and friends is like, hey, I don't think that's the guy. You could take that as a red flag. Like, let me just, like you said, sit with it.
Sit back, yeah.
I'll make my own decision. I may touch the stove, but what are you saying? Am I so blind about this? Let me fall back in. And I think it's very important to take inventory. Let me fall back. Let me really see. Coming out to that one time with my ex, they got your thing. I said, yeah, I don't think he's it. But I said mine can be more construed because me and her used to date. But she was like, when you said to me, I'm like, she said, but then eventually I started seeing something. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh wow, he saw things now I'm seeing it now. And then when it happened, she called me like, Chad, you was right. And then I had time for me to be like, told you so. I do not want to, I don't mind being wrong. I don't mind, you know what I'm saying? I hate that sometimes I have to be the bad guy when it comes to being accountability. Like, what role you play, right? But I want you to be happy, but it's one of the things where in those moments, like, I'm focused on the now what. Right now, you know.
Yeah.
You clear now. Everybody got enough button. What do you want to do going forward? What's the game plan going forward to protect your heart, create the boundaries, he cheat, whatever he did, what are you gonna do now? So we just a vent session. You just want to vent with me? Then you're venting. Okay. Yeah, he did that. That's crazy, right?
You're right. You're right, though. No, you're right. Because I used to be the one when I see things. Because if I feel like this, if I love you, I ain't gonna let you be out here acting a fool, right? And I ain't gonna let nobody treat you like a fool. So I people be like, girl, no, fuck, no, you know. And I'd say that with my guy friends, but I had to learn. You gotta lace it up. You gotta add some sugar and some marshmallows to it, or I'll just be sitting there like until you ready for the conversation, or like I'll ask, depending on of course the strength of the relationship and all that. You might ask like, can I give you my thoughts? But yeah, people sometimes they don't want to hear it. They be wanting to be in a mess, or
permission to speak freely? Yeah, you want to get that?
Yes, that's how I am now. Because once I ask you that, you already know I got some shit to say. So my friends know me. Once I say, so can I just they know, they already know. But you're right. I mean, and I can understand how I have that level of like, I look at situations like this. What's the worst that can happen? And then I still decide to move forward. You feel me? So like, I've already thought about, for me, what's the worst that can happen. So therefore, it's not scary to me. But a lot of people don't think in that way. So they're afraid to be like, oh, I don't know how she's gonna react if I say something, or I don't know how my friend gonna react. So I guess it comes back to the red flags thing, because a lot of times people outside of us, outside of the relationship, can see, no, girl, you don't see, boy. But we, for whatever reason, can't see it, but they're still afraid to say something to us because they don't know how you're going to react. You might be so lost in the sauce that you're not going to be wanting to hear that nonsense. And trust, people quick to jump on or leave and end friendships because that person don't like their partner or whoever they get in. They might even be their boyfriend. Just some dude they talking to, and they'll be quick to, because I don't know, I don't get that shit. But anyway, I digress. That's a whole nother conversation for another time, because I got some experiences with that.
Got it. Navigating that friendships is very important, and like you said, it can get dicey. Yeah,
very much so. So I mean, we already again talked about tons of stuff, but for let's say anyone listening to this, what are some takeaways you think you can give them about identifying red flags and addressing them? Because at the end of the day, identifying is one thing, but you got to do something about it.
Yes. I think that the takeaway for this conversation is at the end of the day, you have to be very clear of what you want and need in a relationship. Whatever relationship, whether it have to be friends, loved ones, whatever. Like, you have to be very clear and understand boundaries and have these conversations when you see red flags, see things you don't like, right? So like we talk about relationship with, relationship with couples and dating, that's the main arch of it, but it's deeper than all relationships. You have to have accountability and have those conversations where you feel uncomfortable. It could be your mama, it could be your father, it could be a cousin, it could be whatever. Like, you have to understand that when you see red flags, it need to be addressed. And be okay with the outcome that this may be a situation where it may be too much for y'all to continue, or the way you interact may change. It could be more that we talk every day now to a point that now it's more of acquaintance. You know that? Or we see each other in family gatherings, right? So I think the takeaway at the end of the day is you have to be very secure of what you want and be able to have the uncomfortable conversations because you're advocating for yourself.
Yeah.
It's not you being a quote unquote bad guy being difficult. You're understanding that, hey, this is triggering. Hey, when you do this, this is how it make me feel. When you say this, like even a mom could talk to their daughter and say, the way you dress, whatever that is, it hurts me and it makes me feel uncomfortable, and I don't like the way it makes me feel. And this is not the time to play the man up. Come on, woman, you know how I talk. No. Piss poor behavior is piss poor behavior. Correct. And once somebody acknowledges it and you acknowledge that person that this is something and they don't want to work on it, or they're trying to shut down, then you have to understand that, I have to make the boundaries now. I got to make executive decisions for my own personal mental health. And I think that's the takeaway, where I understand it may suck, it may hurt. I tell people all the time, the reason why a lot of people want to do the work, whatever it is, whatever your dream is or goals or relationship, because it's hard.
Yeah.
And doing the work within yourself and personal development, it's not fun.
Yeah.
Next time, shadow work, right? Like you really have to do the work, and it's not going to be fun. This whole self-care thing, it's not fun.
It is not.
It's great. The outcome, but you're going to have to go through hell, maybe, depending on the trauma, depending on how you feel. And like I said before, self-care, yes, you should love yourself and get the mani-pedi and the facials and enjoy yourself. Binge watch TV. But also another layer is within your life, why is it this? Why am I dating this kind of man? What did that says about me?
Yeah.
Why I'm dating this kind of woman? Where am I getting my validation from? Like you have to really be honest and try to go to almost like you interviewing yourself.
Yeah. And why
and
you
really
just
trying
let
to figure
things
out
happen? Why are certain things acceptable? Yeah.
And what is the fear? Is it a fear that I may lose this friendship? I'm a fear I'm lose this man. Is it fear I'm gonna lose this relationship? And what value of it, if it was work, is it worth draining my spirit? Just to maintain this and be the nice person, be the bigger person? No. So like I said, so it's definitely the takeaway for me is always be very understanding that you're gonna have to do internal work. And with internal work, you have to now have these conversations. When you see these red flags, like give it some grace. So maybe the one off, a bad day, like, you know what I'm saying? You may get away the one time just had a bad day. Right? So there's grace there, but if you see a pattern, when you're seeing that this keep on coming up, or where I'm looking for, that kind of little jabs, subtleties, you're like, oh, it seems like they're taking shots at me, or they keep on talking about my nose a lot. Something about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, then let me address that. So we have to have the conversation, but trying to ignore it, like you said, sometimes you blow up. This is not the time to really have an honest conversation. Now you yelling, they get defensive. Nah. But you can address things but understand, hey, can we talk? Do you have a moment? Or we not that, you know, that we need to talk in this blank, but can we have a conversation? We need to talk about something. That's why I was talking about date night. But yeah, we have to have a conversation because I just want to have a safe space when you're ready and I clear my thoughts. Now I need to write it down, whatever I need to do to express to you how I feel about certain things. You can tell me how you take away, and then we can move on and see can we make it happen. But if they show you that, basically give your ass a kiss, then you have to say, why am I here?
Yeah.
I'll see myself out. Don't you worry. Don't you move.
That's a fact. And that's that work, whether you're dating or you're in a committed relationship, that's that work that's necessary. And it's not for the other person, it's for you, honestly, at the end of the day. So I think I would add that essentially this, what are pink flags today can become red flags tomorrow. So what you ignore today, what you think, oh, it's a small thing, maybe the very thing and the very reason that your relationship ends. So it's better to address it and know what it is now, and to put that person on, make them aware, or put them on, not notice, but just make them aware of, oh, hey, I'm noticing this thing and I don't know why you're doing it, or can you explain to me, make me understand, or be like, I just don't like it. And it's better just to do that, get that out the way early, so that moving forward, one, it builds rapport, right? It builds a communication. At least it hopefully, the hope is that it creates a bridge where you'd be like, or a space where it could be like, hey, we can talk about these things that we don't like and we can work through them. Or you cut your losses, fam. Go about your business. At the end of the day, it's a win for you. It's a win either way.
The only just to stop, it's because we were talking, I was listening to it, and I was feeling about it's okay, because sometimes people want closure, and sometimes the closure don't have to be closure with that person. It's closure could be just with yourself, like you said. So we had these conversations, but if I don't have you to have an exit interview, I can internalize it like this is ended, and I could move on. I don't have to have the closure, because that's what you said. It opens the gate for more of, staying somewhere you don't need to be at. There.
A fact. Well, thank you, Mr. Scott. Can you please give our listeners and viewers your contact info, where they can contact you, talk to you, DM you some screenshots about their experiences or whatever, so they can get your services?
Yes, so Chad Scott here on Instagram and all platforms. Website coming soon. And that's when I'll be offering even pre-marriage counseling. I think that what happens is sometimes we come to marriages, it's good to have some tools of toolbox going into it. And I'm also going to marry you off as well. So I think that is those good times that if you understand that you want this to work, you may have to have a meeting and conversation just to have how can you do conflict resolution? Yeah. How do finance play roles? Priority, love language, and just have that kind of basic tools. We still love you. It's not a damper. Once again, it's just those things. So I'm just trying to create these courses, how to negotiate with terrorism, trying to revamp that, get that out. Because outside's almost open. But until then, I want people to download something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I hear you. So you out here in these streets working. You working.
Yeah, I can't wait to be with the people, because that energy, because I think with me, with coaching, I'm always learning. So not like, Chad Wade, you know what I'm saying? But I also love the energy when you live for people. Yeah. Right? Fact. And I can't wait for that live, because I don't mind pushback.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when I say love is not enough, I get pushback all the time. So I like the dialogue, right?
True.
But yeah, that's what it is. So find me everywhere. Thanks again for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming again. I mean, I'm assuming you liking the conversation. I'm saying.
I enjoy it. It's needed, especially this red flag is a thing that not only because it's trending now, but because it's a thing.
Yeah.
This is something that always going to be a thing.
Right. Always.
Some things are beyond trend. Like this red flag's been the thing since the day of time, but a lot of people ignore it for whatever reasons. So it's good to understand, once again, the accountability, what role you play in entertaining or engaging. And people hate that conversation. Like I said, it's not the most popular. You know what I'm saying? Like, even me, accountability coach, is not going to be, I'm not going to be popular. And I understand that. But those that get it will get it, and they thrived on it. This is why I got the rings I got or whatever. But I understand I'm not for everybody. And I was in relationships, and that's okay.
Okay. I say that to people all the time. It's okay. I ain't for everybody. That's okay. But
I know my demo.
Thank you. And thank you so much for joining us today. And I hope to see you again.
Yes, please. I'm here.
All right. Bye.
Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Oasis podcast. I hope you were able to find something that resonated with you on your journey. Don't forget to subscribe anywhere you listen to podcasts and YouTube. Rate us and leave us a review and comment on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, and YouTube. Share your favorite episode and like us on Instagram and Facebook. If you have any questions, comments, want to be a guest, or any show ideas, contact us at ajaysoasis@gmail.com. That's AAYJAYSOASIS@gmail.com, or direct message us on Instagram and Facebook.